In this video, I'm going to explain the tax obligation of a real estate agent or real estate broker, because at this point in the year, you've likely received a 1099 form from your real estate company or broker that shows all or some of the commission you earned in 2023. Now, it might not show all of it because maybe you were paid directly from a title company or escrow company, or a landlord paid you directly, or there's some other unusual arrangement. But ultimately, you cannot rely on that 1099 to accurately reflect how much commission you were paid last year. Only you know how much was wired into your account or deposited into your account, or how much income you had, and it's your responsibility to know exactly how much you had. Now think about this. A 1099 is just a carbon copy to you that shows what one person reported to the IRS they paid you. So you have a company or person that paid you, and they're required to report to the IRS, and they do that on a Form 1099, and then they copy you on it so you know how much they told the IRS they paid you. But it has no effect on your tax obligation. Whether or not you receive a 1099 or it shows the wrong number, let's say it's too low, it only shows a portion of your income, is inconsequential on someone's tax liability. Their responsibility is that they have to report all the income that they earn. Now, as real estate professionals, the upside to this is because we're self-employed, we get to do a Schedule C, and we have all sorts of deductions. We have auto deductions and home office deductions in some cases, and all sorts of work-related costs that we incur that are deductible on our tax return on that Schedule C. That's where our focal point should be. Now, agents sometimes bring this up and they have this misunderstanding that if a 1099 is short, or if they can't find it, that they somehow aren't responsible for it, or if they didn't get a 1099, that they don't have to report the earnings that would have shown up on it. And it's simply not true. Now imagine this. Imagine if the 1099 was sent, but you moved last year and the company has your old address and they sent the 1099 to your old address. Does that let you off the hook? Absolutely not. Or imagine if the company went under, or the business owner was non-compliant, or the business fell apart for whatever reason, they didn't send it or you didn't get it. It got lost in the mail. Imagine a 1099 gets lost in the mail. That has no effect on your tax obligation. All that matters is that you know how much you earned, how much went into your account, the check deposits you made from those commission checks or the wires you got from escrow, what that total is, and that gets reported on your tax return. And then you do a Schedule C, and you can play around with deductions and do tax planning and do a proper tax return. But it's incumbent upon the taxpayer to report all their income earnings. Now, if they don't, it's tax fraud. It's really that simple. You either report all your earnings or you don't. And I've known for years, just being in the industry, being licensed for 22 years, there are so many misconceptions about what it means to report taxes and what the obligation is, and how confusing it is for people if they get a 1099 that doesn't show how much they earned, or if they don't get a 1099 at all, and it makes no difference. Now, some agents have an LLC. Why they do that, I really don't know. It makes no sense to me. Here's why. So an LLC, here are the arguments I hear for it. Number one is, well, there's a tax benefit. No, there's zero tax benefit for an LLC. There's zero tax benefit for an LLC. It makes no difference having an LLC or not when you're doing your taxes. Number two is, well, liability protection. Sure, but the whole reason you're paying a portion of your commission to the broker is for liability protection. I don't see how an LLC offers anything additional. The broker should be a corporation. They should. If your broker's not a corporation, find a new brokerage. Now, not only do you have the corporate protection, but your brokerage should have an E&O, errors and omissions, insurance policy protecting you. So you're working within the confines of a corporation, so you have corporate protection, and you have an insurance policy that protects you as well. There's no reason to go beyond that and have an LLC. I can't imagine any case in which legal liability will bleed through the real estate corporation brokerage, the brokerage corporation, and the errors and omissions policy, and somehow you have the safety net of an LLC. That makes zero sense. I've never seen anything like it, and believe me, I've been dragged into every sort of legal dispute you can imagine. So there's no point in having an LLC. Now, if you know something I don't know, tell me, but I'd be very surprised. Now, other times I see agents have a corporation, like an S corporation. Now, that can make sense if the agent has a lot of revenue and has a lot of things going on, and they need a different structure because they're doing advanced tax planning and they have their own business that has a lot of moving parts in it. That's a more complex topic, but a corporation can make sense, but often does not make sense because, again, the liability, I don't see any additional benefit, and there can be a tax liability, a tax reduction in your tax liability, but that's another more complex topic. So I'm bringing these up because agents get paid in certain ways and they have these entities, and it makes very little sense most of the time. But ultimately, if there's one message, one takeaway from this video, it is that you are responsible to know how much you took in as income through wires and deposits and whatever, cash in hand, it doesn't matter. Whatever you earned, that is what you report on your tax return. And a 1099 ultimately is inconsequential. You must report everything you earn. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for watching.